when it comes to the wrestling world, everything is pretty much smoke and mirrors. It's hard to depict what's real and what's fake sometimes. No matter how big the controversy is when it comes to sports entertainment, or some call it professional wrestling, there's certain things that happen in and outside the ring that seem so real, but it's all just one big work. For the non-wrestling fans, when you hear a fan use the term work when it's pertaining to wrestling, a work is a pre-scripted event in which sports entertainers or people in the wrestling business present particular situations and scenarios to the masses in an attempt to make you believe what's going on is reality and not a part of the show. And 9 times out of 10, it all could just be one big ass publicity stunt. Although real life scandals happen behind the scenes in any business or corporations, when it comes to the wrestling world, you just never know what's real or what's not. If you know anything about the history of wrestling, then you know how much pride the wrestlers and the people behind the scenes take in protecting the wrestling business. And most of those in the wrestling business would take extensive measures to reel fans in and make sure wrestling never dies. And I'm not saying all of that to discredit this whole Vince McMahon scandal as one big publicity stunt. But me knowing wrestling the way I know wrestling, I know it is quite possible. Because Vince McMahon did not make it this far in the wrestling business to billionaire status by being an idiot. And he knows how much attention a scandal like this would bring to the wrestling industry. But at the same time, if this whole scandal is a reality, this actually could kill WWE as we all know it today. Because you do know these kind of scandals are very common in the business world. There's been numerous situations where executives at businesses do sexual things with employees and give them hush money just to keep everything on the low. But is that really the case this time? Shit, I don't know. Maybe this isn't another wrestling gimmick to get all the fans' attention. But maybe this is why Stephanie McMahon left but came back just in time when Twitter was trying to cancel Vince McMahon. And this right here could quite possibly have something to do with Sasha Banks and Naomi walking out of the WWE. And it's also quite possible they all knew something was going on all along. Maybe that's why they left. Maybe they were tired of getting treated like crap as well. Or they were just tired of seeing other women getting treated like crap. It all is quite possible that Vince McMahon and John Laurinaitis are really doing some fuck shit behind the scenes. I mean, it's just what men do. Fuck shit. But like I said at the beginning, this could just all be a work. It could be just a marketing strategy. Because look at what's going on. Now that this situation has come out into the open, it has drawn millions of eyes towards the wrestling world. People that watch wrestling and people that don't watch wrestling are all hearing about what's going on inside of the wrestling world. And during the making of this video, Vince McMahon has stepped down from his CEO position, and him and his wife Linda McMahon has split, and Stephanie McMahon has rejoined the WWE to take over her father's position as CEO. So Vince McMahon has stepped down from his chairman position, and rumor has it that Vince McMahon will still be live at SmackDown tonight. This is a smart move by the WWE due to the fact Twitter is trying to cancel Vince McMahon at the moment. But with Stephanie McMahon now coming back to WWE and taking over, it won't be as many women wanting to cancel WWE as a whole. And now the whole world, non-wrestling fans and wrestling fans alike, will be tuning in to Friday Night SmackDown tonight to see what Vince McMahon has to say. And WWE will probably draw more ratings than they have in the last 20 years. So is this all a publicity stunt? Or is it all just one big work? Or is this a true sex scandal? I know everyone is so intrigued by this sex scandal and want to believe that this whole scandal is really going on. But also keep in mind, there are certain people in the wrestling business that would do anything to keep wrestling alive due to the recent ratings decline. Vince McMahon was born in the wrestling industry, so his brain is trained to draw people into wrestling by any means necessary. He's going to do whatever it takes to draw people in to watch wrestling. His dad was a #1 regional wrestling promoter, and then Vince McMahon Jr. came and took over to be the #1 global wrestling promoter. And he didn't get this far by being honest with the fans and honest business transactions. Wrestling is all about working the fans. And it's been like that since day one when it comes to sports entertainment. Vince McMahon's brain is trained to work the fans and draw them in by any means necessary almost. Vince McMahon knows the ins and outs and ups and downs of wrestling. So during a time when wrestling is at a decline, why wouldn't he come up with something major to keep all of the eyes on wrestling and to draw millions of more eyes back on the WWE? Before you count my theory out, just remember, before wrestling was exposed in the 90s, and even after, it was everyone in the business job to sell false narratives as truth on and off the camera to protect the wrestling business.